I made, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Mm. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Mataji, today Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Oh, yes, okay. Just Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, Chapter 4, Text 172.
I think it's 170, Mataji.
171 now? Okay.
170.
ईहाके कहिए कृष्ण दृढ़ अनुराग स्वच्छ धौता वस्त्रे ये चिनाही को न दाग. That is called firm attachment to Lord Krishna. It is spotlessly pure, like a clean cloth that has no stain. Purport: the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita advises everyone to give up all engagements of sense gratification and, like the gopis, dovetail oneself entirely with the will of the Supreme Lord. That is the ultimate instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. We should be prepared to do anything and everything to please the Lord, even at the risk of violating the Vedic principles or ethical laws. That is the standard of love of Godhead. Such activities in pure love of Godhead are as spotless as white linen that has been completely washed. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura warns us in this connection that we should not mistakenly think that the idea of giving up everything implies the renunciation of duties necessary in relation to the body and mind. Even such duties are not sense gratification if they are undertaken in a spirit of service to Krishna. So very important. Actually, we already did this verse, but anyway, it's a very important verse, so we can just go through it once more. So that is the kind of love that the gopis have for Krishna. That is firm attachment to Lord Krishna, spotlessly pure, like a clean cloth that has no stain. So, how do we become so much attached to Krishna? We may think, oh, this is not possible. I mean, it's a very simple instruction. Krishna consciousness is very simple, but to execute it is the problem because of lack of desire, lack of knowledge, and because of that lack of desire. But that is why Lord Nityananda, in the Kali Yuga, he wanted to show what is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And so that is why he wanted to uh, deliver Jaga and Madai. Krishna, Lord Chaitanya gave them instantly Krishna Prem, and he removed all their sins. Their sins were going on for so many lifetimes, so many sins that Chitragupta, his hands were aching. All his, people who were in his office who were all noting down Jagai and Matai's crimes. Their hands were aching. They were all very tired because so many sins. And all that in a moment, he just absorbed everything. And he gave them Krishna Prem instead. And he blessed them. He said that from now on, and then he initiated them And during initiation, he wanted to show the world that actually he's taken away all the sins. Otherwise, people may still be wondering now, oh, Jagai and Madai, we can't believe that their sins have gone. Who knows? We believe them and we start moving with them closely, and suddenly one day they strike us. People may have doubts. So, right in front of all the devotees, he he said, see, I'm taking all their sins. And for a minute, he became black. And Lord Chaitanya laughed and said, how do I look? And Advaita Acharya said, you look like Krishna. So black, he became dark. So many sins. So so we don't have to worry about all that. Oh, how I've been a Badaji for how many lifetimes, and suddenly I'm supposed to do everything for Krishna's pleasure. Maybe it's not possible. No, it is possible. We have to just take shelter of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and beg him, please, just as you restored Jaga and Madai, they became completely, imagine just that moment Chaitanya Mahaprabhu changed them, and they fell at his lotus feet and started crying, weeping profusely. Just a minute ago, they were hard-hearted, hardened criminals, and they had no qualms about killing people. And such people were now, out of love in their hearts were melting with love, and they were shedding tears like all the other Vaishnavas. So, this is attachment to Lord Krishna. So, all this is very difficult to achieve after many, many lifetimes, also. People find it difficult to get Krishna Prem, and that is available in Kali Yuga very easily. So we are very, very fortunate. And we simply have to desire. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it so easy. No austerities, nothing. Simply desire in your heart and cry to Lord Nityananda. I am also a dwarf who's trying to touch the moon. So please, you are capable of anything. So you did that for Jaga and Madai. So please, kindly do for me also, so that even my material activities, everything, only remembering Krishna. If we just remember Krishna, then we will have all, wonderful thoughts and, unselfish motives and desire to do everything in a very nice way so that Krishna may be pleased and not my senses and mind. Text 171. Ata eva kama preme Bahuta antara kama anda tama prema nirmala bhaskara. Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun. Now we've seen what is lust. People can write lot of things in today's world. What to what extent it is really darkness, dense darkness. We can see how people lose their intelligence and do all nonsensical activities, how much they, the recent events are there to prove the point. And love is like the bright sun. Imagine such people, if their only shelter should be, next to the jail. We should start one Sankirtan center. All these criminals who go there, their only hope is go to the Sankirtan. When they come out of the jail, or we go into the jail also, so that we have to do a lot of jail preaching because they are in complete darkness. All these rapists and all that, especially, of late, there's so many rapists, and they are thinking that we should give them life sentence, or no, not life sentence, hang them. People are so angry with them because what kind of mentality that they take innocent children, 4-year-old, what kind of mentality they must have to do like this. So in order to purify them, and such people especially go to the jail and do kirtan, give them prasad and make them chant, read books. They don't have any other activity. Let them do all that. And we'll tell them, please, in the jail, let them make a garden of Tulasi and worship Tulasi Devi. give them all, make a temple so that let them all come every day and do some service there. We have to, I mean, if you are ready to do that, government will be very, very, very happy. At least all, wherever BJP is ruling, they'll be very cooperative. Even other governments, I suppose, because they want these jail people to be, they want to, they don't know how to uh, purify them. They are teaching them yoga and then making them do some labor there, but it doesn't really fully purify them. But we can show our credentials, how they become saints from the jail. They walk in as serial murderers, walk out as Hare Krishna devotees, initiated devotees, who will never forget committing crimes. They won't even touch onion, garlic, so pure they become. So we have a lot of work to do. Only we don't have enough people or time. That's the problem. अतएव गोपी गणेरा नाही काम गंदा कृष्ण सुका लाठी मात्रा कृष्ण से संबंधा. Thus, there is not the slightest taint of lust in the gopis' love. Their relationship with Krishna is only for the sake of his enjoyment. Just imagine, that gives them so much pleasure. They are the ones who are happiest among all the people. They're the topmost ones. And we may be thinking, people may be thinking that they are happy because they're enjoying themselves with Krishna. He is the supreme person and they are enjoying with him, and that's why they're happiest. No, there's no question of sense enjoyment at all. They're simply thinking of Krishna's pleasure, so much so that for the sake of Krishna, they're ready to be even separated from him 100 years or more than that, 111 years. Krishna was in Mathura and they were in Vrindavan. And they suffered it out because something Krishna did that, and they thought, okay, if he's happy, fine. I will suffer and let him be happy. So they didn't mind. They didn't curse, or they didn't curse their fate, or they didn't get angry with Krishna. They were always his well wisher, even though he left them in misery. And then they used to get news that, he's getting married. So many, one after the other, all the queens. And the gopis were very happy for Krishna. They didn't become jealous, or become offensive to him at all. Just see, that is the greatest thing now. That is what shows whether it's lust or love. They didn't, feel self pity or anything. They thought, okay, if Krishna is happy, let him do. But they wanted to meet Krishna and they were looking forward. And that's when the solar eclipse also in Kurukshetra, they went and met him and they were very happy. So first of all, that is a very good understanding that the love on the spiritual platform is totally different in the material platform. They know that Krishna is everybody's, and there are unlimited gopis. He is having relationships, and there are queens in Dwaraka and everywhere. Krishna is, you know, he's the person who's always come. There is no exclusivity, but at the same time, they're also exclusive because they can get Krishna all for themselves. Each person, everybody has got Krishna completely for oneself. So that is also satisfying. At the same time, they know that everybody's also got Krishna. And sometimes Krishna also acts like he will not be everywhere at the same time. He will particularly favor somebody just for his enjoyment. He will go to Chandravali and then Radharani will be upset. That all gives him pleasure. And the gopis are agreeable to that because they're part of that pastime for his pleasure. Radharani pouting her lips and getting angry with him and showing her man and not seeing him and saying all kinds of very, very hurtful things to him, all because it gives pleasure to Krishna. Krishna doesn't get pain. He's enjoying himself to see Radharani getting angry, upset with him. So she does. Otherwise, in her heart, she has no such, you know, feelings. So that is love. And lust is, we know how it is very, very, I mean, in the material world, everyone wants to possess, and it is for their enjoyment. And so you won't find such sentiments here at all. And it's not proper to even expect that unless they are devotees. If they're devotees, that's a different thing. They're all doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. So they are surrendered. Whatever Krishna does, okay, fine. That's all right. So, and they love each other also uh, as fellow devotees of Krishna. अतएव अतएव गोपी गणेरा नाही कामा गंधा कृष्ण सुख लागी मात्रा कृष्ण से संबंध. Oh, yeah, finish that. यत्ते सुजात चरणाम बुरुहम स्तनेषु बीता शनै प्रिय ददीमहि कर्कशेषु तेनातवीम अतसी तद व्यतते न किम स्वित कूर्पादिभिर भ्रमति Dhir Bhavad Ayusham Na. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breasts, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by the pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. This text from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.31.19 was spoken by the gopis when Krishna left them in the midst of the Ras Leela. So they were expressing how much love they have for him. And now, because when Krishna goes along with the gopas, he is enjoying himself in that ras. He is with the cows and the, completely. But the gopis, they are following him and they are meditating on Krishna, even though he is not paying attention to them at that moment. And they are only worrying about, his lotus feet. Oh, they'll be hurt by all the thorns and pebbles. And mentally also it's service to Krishna that, like we know during in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Narsimananda Brahmachari, he created a beautiful road for Lord Chaitanya to walk right from Puri, you know, uh, up to Vrindavan. Of course, it stopped in one particular place because that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not going beyond that. But in his mind, he was creating it. How, Lord Chaitanya, he should walk in just soft, full of flower petals. And in either side, there are pictures of water, scent, beautiful, fragrant scent on the way, beautiful tree-lined roads. Like that, he was imagining such wonderful and a lot of seating arrangements so that he can, from time to time, take rest. All these things in his mind, he was, doing it. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was enjoying it when he was walking. Maybe other people could not see it, but somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could enjoy that. So, so the gopis, they were providing this kind of, they were only thinking about Krishna, how he's enjoying and how nothing should, he should not suffer in any way. Can you imagine what kind of selfless love that is? Not thinking of oneself at all and only thinking about that other person, Krishna, and not Krishna may not be and he may be elsewhere enjoyed doing some pastime of his own, and that doesn't matter. Even if Krishna is not, reciprocating at that moment with them, they're not worried about that. They only want Krishna's welfare. Where will you find such kind of love? Only here it is lust. Everything, something connected with one's own happiness. Only then one would do something. But here we are not at all worried about whether we are going to benefit in any way from it all. So that is love. Atma sukha duke gopira nahika vichara. Krishna sukha hetu cheshta mano vyavahara. The gopis do not care for their own pleasures or pains. All their physical and mental activities are directed towards offering enjoyment to Lord Krishna. And because Krishna is so pure, if we do that, everything will turn out so beautifully that we ourselves, our Atma, will be satisfied only by that. Because, I mean, Krishna is not like a human being. Somebody does everything for us and we don't even know they're doing. They won't benefit by that, nor will it, you know, bring about, nor will their service will bring about general welfare for everyone. That is all not possible in the material realm, and no one else can do that but Krishna. For Krishna, if we just do everything for his satisfaction, that will first of all benefit also us. We'll be so happy, so purifying, and also that will be a source of, I mean, we if we just satisfy Krishna, everyone else will also be benefited. That's the amazing thing. There are great acharyas, some of them, they're all bhajananandis, like Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And so one may think they never preached. So what is the purpose of their staying on this earth? We don't know what all Krishna achieved through them. Just their worshipping Krishna must have brought so much of blessings. I mean, they must have purified all the place around them wherever they were walking. So just satisfying Krishna means that you don't need to do anything more than that. That blesses and benefits everyone. Krishna lagi arasaba kari parityaga. Krishna sukha Krishna sukha hetu kare shuddha anuraga. They renounced everything for Krishna. They have pure attachment to giving Krishna pleasure. We cannot understand what this is. This is not lust at all. They renounced everything for Krishna. They're not at all thinking about their enjoyment. Whereas in this material world, we are so much conditioned to thinking everything in terms of myself. Am I going to be happy by this? Then only I will do. If it has nothing to do with my happiness, why should I do? But that is the way the soul is made, that everything, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So if Krishna is happy, automatically we'll be happy. So in that way, it's not that we'll be left high and dry with nothing, but the feeling of love, that we are not at all considering anything for ourselves, but only Krishna's pleasure. That is what really satisfies deeply the soul, ourselves. Evam mad artho jita loka veda swanam hi wo mai anuvrittaye bala maya paroksham bhajata tirohitam masuyitam marhata tat priyam priya. O my beloved gopis, you have renounced social customs, scriptural injunctions, and your relatives. For my sake,
रुक जाओ 1 मिनट.
I disappeared behind you only to increase your concentration upon me. Since I disappeared for your benefit, you should not be displeased with me. So Krishna is also always thinking only of the welfare of his devotees. This text from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.32.21 was spoken by Lord Krishna when he returned to the arena of the Rasa Leela. Finally, he manifested himself after putting the gopis into such torment, such anguish, such pain of separation. Finally, Krishna appeared before them. And the gopis asked, "What is this Krishna Why did you do like this? You called us. We came because you called. And then, after increasing our love for you, why do you disappear like this? And then Krishna says, he is not at all. I mean, it's not that Krishna doesn't notice, means he's not aware about every living entity, what they love, whatever they're offering Krishna. Krishna is fully aware. And so he is not at all ungrateful. And he says, recognizes that you have renounced social customs, right? Walking out of the house in the middle of the night, just running in the forest, scriptural injunctions, how you should first, you must listen to the elders, mm, what they say. Yeah, they didn't listen. All the parents, I mean, if they were unmarried, then their fathers, or if they're married, fathers in law, mothers in law, the husbands, they're all saying, don't go, don't go. They didn't listen. They just ran out of the house. Imagine what a difficult thing it is to do that. They did all that. And your relatives. So they didn't know whether they will be accepted back. The next morning, if they just walked into the house, they'll say, you went out of the house in the middle of the night. Why should we take you back? So they actually, and they may all talk ill of them. They didn't care. They just gave up everything for Krishna's sake. I disappeared behind you only to increase your concentration upon me. The same thing happened to Narad Muni also when he decided to, okay, just walk. I mean, his mother died and there was nobody. He thought, okay, maybe this is Krishna's mercy upon me. He was walking, and then he sat after passing through so many places, villages, cities, towns, forests, and mines. He was just familiarizing himself with all of Lord's creations. Through dense forests, also, he was walking, a small child, 5-year-old boy, and he was fearless. He was not at all, because a sannyasi is supposed to travel like that to show his, I mean, or to experience the fearlessness or of depending only on Krishna in all circumstances. Even in dense jungles, a sannyasi is supposed to walk through without any fear. All that is not expected in today's world. That's why it says the sannyasis are not expected to go and sit in the forest alone and all that. That may be, I don't know. But anyway, if they're preaching, then Krishna, they are dependent on him for their livelihood. They're not supposed to keep any money with them and depend on Krishna for everything. So, and so Krishna, he's saying that I am trying to increase your love for me. All these things, Krishna makes it very, very difficult. And we have no one else but to depend on Krishna. Then our love becomes deeper. And Krishna is working for us on only for that, just to increase our love. Because increasing his love means that is when we'll be really happy. And so he disappeared for your benefit. You should not be displeased with me. So Krishna is explaining. Sometimes it's very difficult. Even the gopis misunderstood Krishna. I mean, not misunderstood, could not understand what was Krishna's purpose behind disappearing like that. They thought that it was very cruel of him. Why should you do that? It's like sadism, right? You call somebody in the middle of the night, they leave everything and they come here in the forest. It's and then you disappear. So it may seem like, if a human being does that, we'll say, this person is a sadist. Huh. Imagine, or calling someone like this and then disappearing. But here, and they were also perturbed. Why would Krishna do like that? And they asked him. And Krishna is saying, don't be displeased. I did this for your sake only. Krishna is also thinking always for the welfare and benefit of his devotees. Krishnera pratignya eka ache purva haite ye aiche bhaje Krishna tare bhaje taiche. Lord Krishna has a promise from before to reciprocate with his devotees according to the way they worship him. So we only have ourselves to be blame if Krishna is not reciprocating, that we should think, how can I increase? We should not get angry with Krishna. Oh, he's reciprocating with some other devotee, not with me. Then we shouldn't think that I have not done enough for Krishna. That's why he's not reciprocating with me. Because Krishna has promised from before, ye yata mam prapadyate tam sataiva bhajamyaham. According to how you surrender, I reciprocate. So Lord Krishna has a promise from before to reciprocate with his devotees according to the way they worship him. So if we want material things, he will give material things. If we want him, he is ready to give himself to us. The next verse is that ye yata mam prapadyanti tam stataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasa. In whatever way my devotees surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Krishna was never ungrateful to the gopis, for as he declares to Arjuna in this verse from Bhagavad Gita 4.11, he reciprocates with his devotees in proportion to the transcendental loving service they render unto him. Everyone follows the path that leads towards him, but there are different degrees of progress on that path, and the Lord is realized in proportion to one's advancement. The path is one, but the progress in approaching the ultimate goal is different. And therefore, the proportion of realization of this goal, namely the absolute personality of Godhead, is also different. The gopis attained the highest goal, and Lord Chaitanya affirmed that there is no higher method of worshipping God than that followed by the gopis. So they are like the benchmark for us, the beacon. And Krishna rewarded them by giving himself. He said, see, you, and even, of course, he gave himself completely to them, but he also said that, na paraye ham, I cannot reciprocate with your love. With others, he said, I reciprocate. But for gopis, he told them, I cannot give back to you in proportion to what you're giving me. You have, it's impossible. I cannot cheapen that by saying, I also gave something in return. I can't. I'm completely indebted to you. And so he said, you be happy by your whatever you're giving me. That itself will satisfy you. So be satisfied with that because I cannot repay you. So that was actually glorifying them. And it's a fact that simply by giving Krishna, we become so happy and satisfied. And that's what the gopis also felt. And the gopis attained the highest goal. And Lord Chaitanya affirmed that there is no higher method of worshipping God than that followed by the gopis. Se pratignya bhanga haila gopira bhajane tahate pramana Krishna Sri Mukha vachane. That promise has been broken by the worship of the gopis, as Lord Krishna himself admits. That's what he's saying. I'm not able to repeat. He has told everyone, I'll reciprocate according to what you give me. But for the gopis, he said, I'm not able to, I'm sorry. I'm not able to reciprocate with whatever you've given me. So he broke his promise. O gopis, न पराये हम निर्वध्य संयुजाम स्वसाधु कृत्यम विबुधायुषापि व या मा भजन दुर्जयगे श्रृंखला संवृश्य तद्व pratiyatu sadhuna. O gopis, I'm not able to repay my debt for your spotless service. Even within a lifetime of Brahma, your connection with me is beyond reproach. You worship me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. So he has not paid back, he's indebted to them. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.32.22 was spoken by Sri Krishna himself when he returned to the gopis upon hearing their songs of separation. So they are the perfect devotees, and that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us this highest form, this highest reward possible. Imagine in Kali Yuga, then he did not give it in other ages. He is giving in Kali Yuga to the worst of sinners, not seeing their qualification at all, simply seeing if they are desiring it. So we feel very confident, okay, there's no need of any qualification. I may be the Prabhupada also said, if you want to see Krishna, then you will see him. Even if you are a criminal or you are no qualification. Still, if you simply desire to have Krishna, to serve him, to love him, to experience Krishna Prem, then we can. We are eligible to get it. So that is very comforting because we don't have to feel gloomy thinking, oh, I've got too many material desires. How do I get out of this material world? How will I ever become a perfect devotee? How will I get Krishna Prem? It seems like an impossible dream. I'm struggling with my mind. You may think all that. You don't have to think because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not worrying about all that. He simply sees if anybody is desiring it, okay, take it. You have to just cry. Please, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I have no hope at all. Just cannot make it. That's all. Imagine, we just have to go and cry to him. I can't. I'm incapable of doing all this. Then he's ready to bestow, not even to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but to Nityananda Prabhu. We have to go to Nityananda Prabhu because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave mercy to Jaga and Madai only because Nityananda Prabhu asked, only because he decided to deliver them. So we need to go to Nityananda Prabhu, and to go to Nityananda Prabhu, we need to humble ourselves before our Guru and the Guru Parampara system, Prabhupada, and then we will get. We just have to start crying, asking, I don't deserve it, please give me, like a child wailing that there is no hope, but then it's hoping that because of tears, the parents will, whoever will agree and fulfill their desire. Tabe dekhiye gopira nija dehe prita sehuta krishnera lagi janiha nischita. Now, whatever affection we see the gopis show in their own bodies, know it for certain to be only for the sake of Lord Krishna. The selfless love of Godhead exhibited by the gopis cannot have any parallel. We should not therefore misunderstand the carefulness of the gopis and their personal decoration. The gopis dress themselves as beautifully as possible, just to make Krishna happy by seeing them. They had no ulterior desires. They dedicated their bodies and everything they possessed to the service of Sri Krishna, taking for granted that their bodies were meant for his enjoyment. They dressed themselves on the understanding that Krishna would be happy by seeing and touching them. So this is very difficult to visualize in the material realm, because one would think, oh, how is it possible? Imagine people are so degraded that the High Court judge gave one bhashan to some in this thing, I think in Kolkata. They are telling the girls, see, you must also not, I mean, rape victims or something, you should not feel any sense of, um, you know, when you're getting raped, you should not, oh, I don't know what, I can't even repeat it. So it's horrible. But here, hmm, this, I mean, what normally it seems impossible in material consciousness is like possible in the spiritual realm, because there, I mean, the soul itself is filled with such love. It's only the body which is preventing. We already have such love because as a soul, we are pure and full of love. And the body and the mind are keeping us from experiencing that love. So it's possible even in us. And so that gives the greatest satisfaction. And if we understand, yes, I am also able to, I can also be like that, then we keep on aspiring. We chant Hare Krishna crying. That's all we have to do. Cry in the heart and hear the Hare Krishna mantra. That's all. That is all. Only it requires a sincerity and not being deviated by Maya's. Maya, Kali and Maya will try to distract us. Definitely give so many distractions, so many mental, something or the other, or doubts. Maybe not this, maybe like this, maybe not. So many things. And honestly, we get deviated. We have to have a goal fixed. That is what is going to give me happiness. Other things, we leave it to Krishna. Whatever problems, difficulties we do, whatever steps we do, but without Krishna's mercy, nothing happens. So why worry about all these things? No need to worry. Just do our duty and depend upon Krishna. And all our goal is to be, to get, this is far beyond liberation, far beyond all other rasas. The rasa of, I mean, all rasas are for the pleasure of Krishna, but the Madhurya ras is the topmost, complete surrender, complete involvement of oneself for the pleasure of Krishna. That's why it's considered to be the topmost. And it includes all of the rasas also in that. So, whatever affection we see the gopis show in their own bodies, know it for certain to be only for the sake of Lord Krishna. Even they're dressing themselves up, everything, they're getting angry or whatever towards Krishna, whatever they do is only for the satisfaction of Krishna. It's very mind boggling even to understand their love. Ye deha kailu ami Krishne sammarpana tandra ahana tandra iha sambhoga sadhana. The gopis think, I've offered this body to Lord Krishna. He is its owner and it brings him enjoyment. Ye deha darshana sparshe Krishna santoshana yehi lagi kare dehera marjana bhushana. Krishna finds joy in seeing and touching this body. It is for this reason that they cleanse and decorate their bodies. And Krishna, we might think, okay, gopis are not lusty. What about Krishna? Maybe he has got some material lust. It is. But Krishna, I mean, what, how can it be lust? Lust is towards something else outside of us. That is lust. We are trying to enjoy with somebody else's body. That is lust. But for Krishna, it is his own body. These gopis have all emanated from his body. And it is, it is like, just kissing your own hand. How is that lust? Your own hand, you just suppose the hand becomes a person, and then you're just expressing love to the hand. Is that lust? It is your own hand. So Krishna is also, he wants to engage. I mean, this is not lust. How, what pleasure? I mean, he is full in himself. He only is this. I mean, he is only eager to experience the exchange of love. And he also, I mean, it's not that he has some urge or something. Urge from the body is lust. But Krishna has no urges. I mean, that kind of material urges. And then why is he all the time engaging in this pastimes, trying to, make it difficult? He likes it most when, with the gopis, because it's very difficult for them to even meet, at least in the queens and all that, in the case of the queens of Dwaraka. He's always with them. It's not difficult to meet them and all that. I mean, all the time. But he gets greater pleasure when it's very difficult to meet, like with the gopis, and somehow, and the separation also gives them so much enjoyment. In fact, the greatest happiness for Krishna is love and separation, just thinking about Radha, thinking about the gopis, then he gets so much happiness. So that means that is a proof that Krishna is hungry for the love, not the physical this thing. Then why will he think that when he's separated, he's getting greater happiness? If only physical enjoyment was his thing, then he will think that is the greatest pleasure. There's nothing more than that. But he is saying love and separation gives him greater happiness. That means it's only the emotional part. That, see, I cannot even meet you. It's so difficult. And still we love each other. That is Krishna. So that we can understand in material love, it's not like that. Then it's people are separated and all that. Love decreases. In fact, then that keeps happening, right, in today's world, because everybody is spending maximum time in their offices and not so much at home. So the love is decreasing, reducing, and the love towards all extramarital affairs is increasing. But here it's opposite. Krishna is in Dwarka, and then he's thinking about the gopis who are so far away, and he hasn't even met them for years. He is close, queens are physically close to them, and of course he loves them also, but he is thinking all the time about Radharani and gopis. So how is that? It's not like material love at all, lust. And the gopis are also not at all bothered. In fact, Radharani, she also, when Krishna comes all the time, when they're taking the pots of butter to go and sell it in Mathura, and then Krishna comes on the way, lays them on the way, and Radharani, she tries to turn away and not allow him to come near, and chastises him. Why does she do that? She only does that only because it gives pleasure to Krishna. Otherwise, see their mood. Their mood is Krishna finds joy in seeing and touching this body. It is for this reason that they cleanse and decorate their bodies. So Radharani is, I mean, she's dressing up only for Krishna's sake. So why would she say no and turn away her face and not even show her face and all these things? Only because Krishna enjoys that kind of. And in fact, among the left wing gopis and the right wing gopis, the higher level is left wing gopis, like headed by Srimati Radharani, who actually argue with Krishna, quarrel with him, and fight with him. All these things he enjoys. More than even like Rukmini is in the right wing gopi, who's very soft and very, you know, submissive. She will never argue with Krishna. More than that, in fact, he will provoke Rukmini just to make her also fight, but she will never fight. She'll just faint. And Krishna teased her by saying, Why do you love me so much? I, you know, I'm not at all a good husband, and all these things. And Rukmini got frightened. What is going Krishna going to do? She's saying that you should find a better person and than me and all that. Oh, that means he's going to leave me. And she fainted and fell down. She was fanning him, and then the fan also fell down. She also fell down. So that is her mood. Whereas Radharani would have told him something and argued. Lalita and Vishaka and all of them, they happily, they'll always, they have a very interesting talks by which finally Krishna will be defeated by their talks. So that is what Krishna enjoys most, left wing gopis. So this is their mood. And the next verse, Krishna is saying, Nijangam apiya gopyo mameti samupasate tabhya param na me partha niguda prema bhajanam. O Arjuna, there is no greater receptacles of deep love for me than the gopis who cleanse and decorate their bodies because they consider them mine. This verse is spoken by Lord Krishna in Adi Purana. So that is the level of, normally people do everything there for their bodies, for themselves. But the gopis have no such feelings at all. They think it's the property of Krishna. And Krishna also, it is his own body, of course. Everything has come from him only. It is a fact. Everything does belong to Krishna. So that is the amazing love in the spiritual realm. And we should never, never try to understand it, thinking like, what the material feelings are. Hare Krishna. Very much. Any questions or comments?
Mataji, Hare Krishna, please forgive me, Mataji. I think I noted the wrong verse number this time. So
That's okay. Maybe Krishna wanted to, because that's such an important verse.
thank you, Mataji. You are so merciful.
Okay, we go to prayers now.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Somehow this topic of Madhurya Rasa is, very difficult to comprehend. Like you were mentioning that, that Krishna is not lusty, but it's like when he, because the gopis are his expansions, and how can he fulfill his lust by, it's like kissing your own hand. When somebody is lusty, if he kisses his own hand, he will not be fulfilled. But he has to kiss the opposite party, right? So,
Yeah.
but see, the Lord has expanded into, Radharani and things like that. Though. So when he performs the Madhurya Rasa, that level, I'm sure it is not like I am kissing my own daughter. I mean, that feeling should be different from,
Not
uh,
like that.
because my daughter is also the expansion of me. Though I kiss her, that's it. There is a Vatsalya kind of bhava in that. But I'm sure Krishna, when he kisses Radha, and I'm not sure that he is feeling in the similar way. The feeling he must
No,
be
no,
having.
no. That's what. Don't try to compare with material experiences. Don't try to, compare it with what we feel in the material bodies. Material, yeah, it is all, different like that. But it is again, whatever you're experiencing, okay, that is, one is Vatsalya, one is Madhurya, it's all different. But here you're doing it because it gives you pleasure, right? And this thing over there is no question of my pleasure. Everybody is doing for Krishna's pleasure. And Krishna also, it is himself. He's expanding to exchange love. First of all, we have some needs in the body or in mind even. We have emotional needs. So we produce children. Everything is for my need. Without that, I feel unfulfilled, incomplete. But for Krishna, is not like that. He is complete in himself. He doesn't need all these things. The only thing which he does is for rasa. to enjoy mellows of, you know, I'm just the mellows part. He is not even, he really doesn't even need, that is why in that past time, where Radharani and the gopis, they cross the Yamuna to feed Durvasa Muni, and how to go there, and then who comes and tells them? Narada Muni, that you just say Krishna is if Krishna is the perfect brahmachari, then Yamuna, please give way. And the minute, and they were giggling, the gopis. How can you say Krishna is brahmachari, is always with us? But when they said that, if Krishna is the perfect brahmachari, then Yamuna immediately left, gave way, and they went. And then similarly, while going back, they didn't know how to go back. They asked Durvas Muni. He said that if Durvas Muni has not eaten at all, then give way. And they thought, what is this? We just cooked and served him. He finished eating nicely. And then he's saying, if Durvas Muni has not actually eaten any food at all, give way. And the Yamuna gave way. It is the same. It is to understand Durvasa Muni ate the food, but he also did not eat the food because it was not sense gratification. In the spiritual realm, the feelings are different from the material body. So Durvas Muni ate food, but he's saying he didn't eat food because it was not in material consciousness of gratifying oneself. It is an expression of love. Love is always um, very magnanimous, selfless, wanting to please other people. And in this case, of course, Krishna is the center of everyone, and he is not. I mean, see that we have to experience it ourselves. But from Krishna's standpoint, he has different. He has these five rasas, and Madhurya ras he wants to feel. It resembles the material thing. It seems as if it's lust, but it is not lust, because Krishna's body is not made up of material ingredients, so he doesn't feel any material lust in his body. So when he is having all these exchanges with Srimati Radharani, it is only an expression of love, because his body does not have any urges like that. So he only wants whatever he is expressing and kissing and all these things are an expression of pure love, not because his body is having some urge. At least that much we can understand. No, he is not feeling lusty and all that. Krishna, here it is the body which demands. When a person attains puberty and a little grown up, then they want to get married. Why? Because the body has urges. Or maybe the mind has got some emotional need. But for Krishna, there is no such urge. He is complete in himself. Then why does he do? Just to experience love, exchange of love.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is basically, yes, we will have that conviction that, Krishna is pure, Krishna is, because we know. This is only I'm talking in relation of some materialistic person who can never think of, Krishna's purity in that level. And if he expresses a doubt, something like that, actually it's bound to be. Sometimes people express that kind of questions also. To convince them, it becomes very difficult. Yes, we at least have that understanding. Yes, theoretically Krishna is like this, so you will never have this material because his body is different and things like that. It's not a material body. So of course for us also it becomes difficult to experience at that spiritual level, but at least we have theoretical understanding and faith in that. But other people's, will never be able to convince them with that kind of this thing, I'm saying.
That is why you need not talk about Madhurya Ras with them at all. See,
No, we
Madhurya
don't
Ras
talk about it, but
only.
sometimes they may be expressing. We don't talk about it all, but sometimes some people will be there asking these questions, which generally for everybody it comes. How can Krishna be like this? Because it's a basic thing, a very common thing which comes to their mind.
Yeah, just try to explain. If they don't understand, what can you do? You don't worry about Madhurya Ras now. You first do Dasya Ras with him, and don't try to understand Krishna's Madhurya Ras. Just Dasya. He is the supreme, and I am his servant. That much you try to understand. Afterwards, all these realizations will come slowly. When we get purified, then only we can understand. No, right now, oh, you can understand. It's impossible. Now we are in material consciousness. We cannot understand. You tell them. Don't worry. That is why most of the only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give Madhuri Ras. Otherwise, it was not even discussed. Nobody even knew what is Madhuri Ras, especially Krishna's. In South and all, where anywhere in India, other than in Vrindavan, and yeah, there is no Radha Krishna temples. Okay, because of that, I mean, from Vrindavan, okay, in Rajasthan, a few temples, that's it. Where else do you get Radha Krishna temples? Okay, now maybe it's expanding a little more. But generally speaking, people don't understand that at all. And married love, okay, they're okay because married love, even we are getting married, so Krishna also. But even that, they don't know what is the relationship. They may also think it's something like what they are experiencing. That again, so better not to talk about that. You say, don't worry, you will not understand now. So you just accept. You see Krishna, how else he is the Supreme Lord. First, understand step by step how he is so great and I'm so small. Understand all that, how he spread everywhere. And Krishna, he lifted the Govardhana hill. We cannot. So don't try to understand him now on that higher levels of himself. Let's try to understand first how he is spread in this material world, how he's controlling everything. Let us understand that first. And then gradually our faith increases and our surrender increases. Then Krishna will reveal in our heart. Only Krishna has to reveal. Academically, we cannot understand all these things. The more we render service, that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing to all the Hare Krishna chanters. Because when we chant Hare Krishna mantra, we are surrendering to him, we are serving him. So we are able to understand bit by bit these truths. Otherwise, most people they they can't either they think it is simply like heroine. That's why they'll call the hero Krishna and heroine Radha, and they'll think it's the same. That's why you have so many people who cheat and say, "I'm very Krishna conscious, so you all come and dance with me, men." Sahajiyas, they do that. They can't understand. They think it's the same. Krishna danced with the gopis, so I will dance with my own gopis. This is what their understanding is. So very difficult to understand. Only let them chant Hare Krishna mantra, take initiation, keep doing service. Then bit by bit, Krishna will reveal in their hearts. What is Madhurya Ras? Prematurely, that's why Prabhupada never talks about Madhurya Ras and all. He only talks about service, about Krishna's boss, I am Das. First, understand that. And that's why some of the Vrajavasis, no, Babajis, they'll try to entice ISKCON followers. They'll say, see, your Guru, na, he only gave you all elementary knowledge. I'll give you something higher. How to get Gopi Bhav and all this. We don't need all that. Prabhupada said, don't go. Everything will be revealed in due course. You simply keep doing service and try to purify our hearts by doing everything for Krishna's pleasure. Then Krishna will reveal more and more about all these things. That's why it was academically it's impossible to understand. You tell them.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you.
Mataji, in my home state, Madhya Pradesh, like there are so many Radha Krishna temples,
Ah,
including my native place. One of my relatives is priest there, but what I see, what I observe is like they just uh, worship like they do like other demigods, right? And they don't follow the four regulative principles. Like they take like this tea, coffee, and all those things. And in fact, if there is a Shiva temple also, so like other is a Shiva is a like is a huge temple, Shiva temple near my hometown. So in that temple premises, there are so many demigods temple. So inside that also there is a Radha Krishna temple, and there is a place called Panna. That Panna, that jewelry is known for the diamond and all. Every
mm,
state there is a Radha Krishna temple, but they just treat like in my opinion, demigod. They don't follow the way ISKCON does and with that serious.
Even for ISKCON, Prabhupada said, see, according to our consciousness only we can understand. Even in ISKCON, he said, right now you're only worshipping Lakshmi Narayana. You have not come to the level of Radha Krishna. We may have Radha Krishna deities in ISKCON, but Prabhupada said, your worship now is in the mood of Lakshmi Narayana. So when we ourselves cannot understand Radha Krishna, it's too exalted. Naturally, all the other people will be worshipping like devatas. Yeah, just like Shiva Parvati, like that Radha Krishna, without
Yes,
much
Mataji.
understanding.
Yes, Mataji. That's what they do. But there are a lot of temples, Mataji. So many places I have seen. I see like wherever I go in MP, like each town will have that temple actually. So much common, but that understanding is not there, as you said actually.
Hmm. Yeah, that is why Prabhupada said it. This is a very exalted topic. He never, somebody started when Gopi Bhav Club, when Prabhupada was living, some devotees in America, they wanted to know this Madhuri Ras. They used to regularly meet and all that. And Prabhupada came to know about it. He got angry, went there directly and stop it immediately. Stop it. No more of talking all this. See, so that's why Prabhupada never talks much about all this. But he has revealed enough in these books for us to get an idea.
Some temples are famous because of those external decoration and all those things, but that bhava is not there. So in Jabalpur, there is a temple. There was a
Mm.
one of the richest person of the India at that time, Seth Govindas. So he built a temple. It was a Marwadi, I think. So that temple people go because nicely decorated and all those things and so much of jewelry and all. But what we carry in ISKCON, that part is missing there actually.
Mm. And for preachers also, see, preaching also is in the mood, a Madhuri Ras mood. Because in preaching also you have to surrender and do everything for Krishna's pleasure. Then only you can preach, properly make devotees. Anybody can give katha and all that, but you have to see whether only in ISKCON we have actually this preaching activity. Hindus don't preach only. And in ISKCON, Prabhupada, because of him and because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we're all asked to preach. And only when you do this, because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we can understand Madhurya Ras. So because and we can understand that all these great acharyas, they're all gopis. In the spiritual world, they're gopis, and in the material world, they're preachers. So that is the connection. Our highest form of surrender in the material world is to be a preacher of Krishna consciousness. So let us do that properly and do all our services. Then, bit by bit, Krishna will reveal this Madhurya Bhav also. And even now, even our worship of Radha Krishna is only Lakshmi Narayana. We can't understand all this exalted love, complete selflessness, and separation mood. All these things are very exalted topics. So we can only theoretically understand. And it takes some time. We have to only worry about how to purify our heart and place Krishna in that. And Prabhupada's lectures are also very encouraging. And he says how to become a Paramahamsa. A Paramahamsa. And Prabhupada says, yes, everybody, even a Grihastha, can become a Paramahamsa if you put Krishna in your heart all the time. You see everything in connection with Krishna. That is Paramahamsa. So let us strive for that. Then all other things will come automatically. We don't need to worry even, oh, how will I become a Rasika Bhakta? All that will come. We just follow Guru's instructions and do our bit, and then everything will come. But we also have one thing. Yeah, the Guru only has told us, cry. Prabhupada said you should cry. And then the devotee said, Prabhu, I'm not used to crying, Prabhupada, how do I cry? Then you cry that I'm not able to cry. Some more you cry. You have to cry, and then that's how we can win over Krishna. Yes, if we're not able to cry, then we should feel bad. Krishna, I'm not able to cry. How will I get your mercy? Please. That's enough. Then Krishna says, oh, he's really crying, he wants. Then he will give us. We have to keep begging and crying because he says, I will give. So that is why we need to do that. Only that we'll concentrate. Everything else, Krishna is revealing. Prabhupada himself has written all this, but it's so purifying. We will not get into a wrong thinking by reading all these things in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Little bit is there, 1 or 2 chapters where the Ras Leela and all are there. But unless we are very, very polluted, if you give it to one rapist kind of person to read this, then he will think, oh, great. See, even God himself is doing. So he will become even more polluted. That's why he said that for somebody who is materially attached, if you make them read all this, they'll become more polluted. But if somebody is sort of purified to some extent, then he reads all this, then that will, make him faster, become more purified and understand, because Krishna and Radha's actually love, by hearing about that, our lust will become reduced and completely go away. That is how pure it is. However, what is all these sannyasis and all that, they, about the Guru we sing, no? Sri Radhika Madhavayura Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupa Nam Nam Pratikshana Swa Dhanalolu Pasya Vande Guru Sri Charanara Vindam. So Guru is meditating on Radha and Krishna's Madhurya Leela. So how can it be lusty? The Guru is not lusty. And he is always meditating on Radha and Krishna's loving pastimes. So automatically, by meditating on Radha Krishna pastimes, when we are somewhat purified, it will increase our detachment from material sense gratification. Now we go for prayers.